everybody. Now we are going to see array of structures. So let us see why we have to go for array of structures. If I am not using array of structure and I am normally declaring m1 comma m2 like that means what will happen? So in the last lecture series we have taken employee 1, right? So the same example I am taking. So struct employee ID, names, salary are my structure elements. For this I am declaring variables E1, E2, likewise I am declaring variables as needed. So if I am not using structure array, what is my problem? So employee 1 is separate variable, employee 2 is separate variable. Only the structure elements, that is emp ID, name and salary, will be allocated in a continuous memory location. For employee 1 it will be in continuous memory location, for employee 2 it will be in continuous memory location. But this entire structure and this entire structure will not be in continuous memory location. This will be stored in some other place and this will be stored in some other place. So if I want to access all these elements, I have to write individual lines of coding. That is one problem. The other problem is, suppose I want to store the details of 100 employees, I have to create 100 structure variables. So if I am not using structure itself, I will be using 100 into 3 variables. That is 300 variables. For employee 1 emp ID, employee 1 name, employee 1 salary, employee 2 name, like that, I will be having 300 variables. So if I am storing structure, my problem of storing lot of variables will be reduced to certain extent, which means employee 1, employee 2, employee 3, like that I will be storing. Anywhere 100 times I have to do this. This is quite difficult. Also, every time for getting the input I have to write separate code for all the 100. For getting the printing the output, for accessing everything I have to use separate codings. So to avoid this, we are going to the concept of array of structure. So in array of structure, you will be having all the structure variables stored in the continuous memory location. So structure variables, first variables, all the elements will be stored. The next memory location itself, the second structure variables, structure elements will be stored continuously. Likewise, it will be going on. So this is the use of array of structure. So in one single array, you can store as many as variables you want. Then with the help of loop, you can reduce the number of lines of code. So array of structure, how to declare? Same way, structure, name of the structure, then the structure variable, opening bracket, opening square bracket, closing square bracket. Inside that you have to give the size of the array of structure. So if I want to store the details of 100 employees, I will be putting 100. So if I am putting 3 will be 3 employees will be created. Here every employee will be having all the structure elements. This is how you will be doing structure array of structures. Now if I want to get the input, means I can just give use a for loop. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 100. So since this is an array, I have to start with 0. For I is equal to 0, I less than 100, I plus plus, enter the employee ID, name and salary. So for the 0th employee, first employee, like that, you will be asking for the user to enter. So in a single statement is enough. Ampersand E of I. So E of I means E of 0 will be the first employee, E of 1 will be the second employee, E of 2 will be the third employee. Likewise, E of 9 will be the third employee. So I am giving struct employee E of 100 means ampersand E of I dot employee ID, comma ampersand E of I dot name, comma ampersand E of I dot salary. Likewise, I can store all the variables. If I am not using this array of structure, individually I have to write. For 3 employees, I have written 6 lines. For 100 employees, I have to write 200 lines. This is quite difficult. So array of structures will be easy. So this is how you will be performing array of structure. Thank you.